Hey, it's Ryan. We finally made it to the chorus in Die with a Smile. Now, I'm not Bruno Mars, so I'm not going to sing as high as him. I hope you're okay with that. So let's check this out. If the world was ending, I'd want to be next to you. If the party was over and our time on earth was through, I'd want to hold you. So lots of amazing things about this. We are going to take a look at a new way to play a B minor chord. We're going to play a bass line while strumming at the same time. And we're also going to look at how to make riffs easier depending on if open strings are available or not. So let's take a look at it. To start, we're going to start with our B minor 7 chord, which looks like this. So it's going to be first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and then our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. And we're going to mute the low E string, and we're going to mute the high E string. If you can, try to have this D string open, but it's not absolutely necessary because you are also playing a D note right here. So let's just practice this together one string at a time. We've got the root, then the 3rd, then the 7th, and then the 3rd again. So the only note that we're missing is the 5th, which is not the most important note in the chord because music theory says it's not what determines the quality because it's not an augmented or a diminished chord. So that's all that music theory mumbo jumbo. So this is the first chord that we play in this part. Next up, we have our good old E major chord. We'll go over the bass line in a minute. Then afterwards, we're going to switch to that C sharp minor 7 that we learned earlier. And then we go back to whatever version of F sharp minor that you want to play. And then we have the bass line. And once we get that, then we do it again for the first part of this chorus. So now let's take a look at the bass lines. These are optional. You do not have to add them, but they kind of spice up the playing in a really nice way because they are different than just strumming the chords. However, it does require a little bit of technical ability to be able to do it, which is what I'm here to help you with. And so you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but it is really fun to play once you get it. First, let's talk about the strumming hand. So we're doing these big chords. And then all of a sudden, right here, we have to pick just one string at a time. So what this requires is a little bit of string muting, and then it also requires control with our strumming hand, so that way we're not striking across all the strings like this. Typically, when I'm strumming chords, I do my fingers like this, where these are down, this is up. And then I pinch my fingers together as though I'm holding a pick. And then I do this. So you could also do maybe like, but that makes it harder to switch to the C sharp minor 7. So as I'm playing this E major chord, you can see that my pinky finger is starting to reach over. And then I let go. As I'm fretting the note, my fingers are laying across the strings. So that way, the only string that's going to ring out is whatever this pinky is playing. So it goes like this. And then as soon as I get to that note, what I do is I wrap my thumb around to mute that low E string. And my first finger is still there to mute all the other strings. So what we're going to do is just take this part and we're going to isolate it and be very slow with it. So we're going to put our pinky down on the 4th fret of the A string, and our other fingers are just touching the other strings. And then we're just going to play this note. So even though I'm striking across a lot of strings, The only note that you're hearing is that C sharp note. And then what we have is a slide. So you're going to push down and do that. So as you play the note, your strumming hand is going to go up like this. So that way we can keep the time. Go ahead and try it with me. One more time. And now what we're going to do is connect it. So now it's like this. So try that. One more time. So we haven't been too concerned about the timing, but we have been concerned about which is down and which is up. And we now need to be concerned about the timing, because it's real easy when we practice these riffs slowly to practice them with the wrong strokes. And then when we go into the practice video, it feels kind of awkward because we didn't practice it correctly. So now in rhythm, it sounds like this. So once we get to that open string, you're holding on this 4th fret here, and then you kind of just bring your thumb up to mute the low E string, and the fingers rest here. If you can't wrap your thumb around to mute the low E string, then it's not the end of the world if that low E rings out, because it's just a part of the E chord anyway, and it just makes the bass line sound fuller, and it's at the end of the bar. There's lots of reasons why it's okay if that happens. But you can also try to be more controlled and just try to strike that one string, which is also a really good skill to have, is having total control over your strumming hand, which I'm working on as well. So in time, let's practice this. It'll sound like this. And then we'll do it again. Go ahead and join me. One more time. And so now that we've gone over that part of the bass line, let's go over this part of the bass line. This part can be even more tricky to get because we're doing alternate picking, but it's really cool once we get it. So we're going to practice it. Again, it's also optional though. So we have this. And that's how it sounds. So we play the chord, and then that's what it looks like, kind of slowed down. So after the chord, I do a downstroke on that 4th fret, and I lift off the entire chord. You can see that my fingers are laying across the strings to mute them. Then I have an upstroke on the 2nd fret. And when I play that, you can see that I'm not on the tip, I'm on the pad of this finger. So that way all the strings are muted. And my middle finger is also helping out to mute the A and the low E string, because it's touching both of those at the same time. Then I have another downstroke. And then there's a couple different fingerings that you can do for this last 4th fret on the D string. You can do your ring finger here. But the reason why I don't like that is because then I have to stretch with my pointer to be able to play that F sharp down here. So what I will often do is this. Because my pinky finger is already here, and it gives me more room to stretch down to the 2nd fret, which we're going to play with the 1st finger. And then you can use either your ring or your pinky for the 4th fret. I just feel comfortable using my ring finger, and that's from practicing scales and stuff. So it could be good for you to practice using your ring finger. And then a couple different options here. You can do the 5th fret on the low E string, which is a good option because you can play any note with your pinky and have all these other strings muted. But the challenge is then after you play this, then you have to hop over to the B minor 7, which you could totally do that. So that's why I have in parentheses that open string is an A note, just like this is an A note. So we can play that instead and make the riff a little bit easier. But it requires you to know how to be able to play the string while all the other strings are muted. So you kind of have to pick what you feel most comfortable with or what you just want to try. And if you reference back to this video later and you're comfortable doing it one way, then you can always try practicing it another way. Let's try playing through this very slowly, very, very slowly. So we got the 4, all the strings are muted. Then the 2 is an upstroke, all the strings are muted. Another 2, all the strings are muted. Then 4th fret on the D string, all the strings are muted. And then we have the 3 downstrokes. So the 2nd fret, then the 4th fret, and then the A note. Let's try it again. Just kind of like not in tempo. So we have the 4th fret, then the 2nd fret, downstroke, then the 4th fret again, upstroke, then 2nd fret, then 4th fret, and then 5th fret, or open string. And let's do it one more time. So we're going to put our pinky or ring finger on the 4th fret. Here we go. Then up, then down, then up, then down, then up, and then down, and then down again. What's also really nice is that whenever you play open strings, it frees up your fretting hand. So when this string is played, it allows you to get in position to be able to play the next chord. So that's another really great thing about open strings. In general, acoustic guitar and open strings are really great with lots of chords. This is like an A sus. It's like a D sus. Anyway, so this was the first half of the chorus for Die With A Smile. Again, these bass notes are optional, but they're very fun if you can do them or if you want to try them. And so I will see you in the practice video.